All right, Dogg from Air Fans. A lot of people are going to think I am ridiculous for making this video, but guess what? We've been in lockdown for 3.5 months, and now they're trying to start a race war. So we are past that, okay? We are past the point of ridiculing someone like myself. Anyway, so a lot of people are talking about phase 2 in terms of COVID-19, and other people are just saying, what's next? Aliens, um, uh, whatever, volcanoes, hurricanes. Um, so anyway, I came upon a piece of intelligence today that might have the answer to the question, what's next? All right. So I'm just gonna read a comment that someone left on a friend's Facebook to start here. All right, he says, the George Webb narrative series goes far deeper than anything Q has ever discussed. If you pair what Q has posted with George Webb, you get the full picture almost, and it's terrifying. The plan was to use the port of Canaveral to ship mobile missile batteries throughout the United States in Club K containers. Then, when the time was right, blow up U.S. cities, and no one would have any idea where the attack came from. And if you recall the involvement of Mike Rogers, God protect him, you might recall the mention of sum of all fears. The uranium that we let go would be processed and used in weapons against us. So when the Nuclear Regulatory Commission came in and did inspections, it would look like we did ourselves. We nuked ourselves. Now, Tom Clancy died a few years ago. Before all this stuff really started to spin up, he dedicated that book to Mike Rogers. Okay, so that's not me talking, that's this other person. And I don't read Tom Clancy novels, but there's a well-established meme in popular culture of people kind of, spilling the beans in novels and things like that. Okay, so we got a plan here that we're seeing how this could happen. And the first reason I think this is credible is that Antifa can't shoot. Okay, so we know that the people who are supplying Antifa with all these things, we know they have weapons, but they don't have anyone to use those weapons, and that's just a big problem that the left has had all along. Okay, they're anti-war, anti-gun people, and so everyone in this space has been speculating since time immemorial, as it were, about the UN coming in, okay, or NATO coming in, or NATO troops being used in the United States, and United States troops being used in Europe, okay, hence the Euro Defender operation, which was called off right at the beginning of the COVID-19 outbreak. So, speaking of that outbreak, think of all the empty buildings where they could hide these weapons, okay? And they could have been hiding them for years and years and years, but now we just have so many places where they could hide a weapon of any size, really. And now with all the riots, we have perfect cover for them to do whatever they want. And with the total lack of police coverage in many major cities, standing down, et cetera, they have, basically carte blanche. Any agency could go in and really do anything in any of these cities. And that's, of course, terrifying. And, so one thing I want to just then speculate on, or just pose a question to anyone out there who's listening. A lot of people are talking about all this that's going on just being used to overthrow Trump, or to get him to lose the election, basically, through various means. So let's just think, COVID-19 had very drastically different outcomes depending on the political orientation of the areas that it affected, which is bizarre epidemiologically speaking, but it's true. Okay, so we had more deaths and more cases in blue states and in blue cities, and Then in the riots, we had worse riots in blue cities. Okay, so is it possible then that when these bombs start to go off, and I think they're going to go off in a lot of cities at once, is it possible that they're going to be planned to hit the red states that have already opened harder than the blue states that are still in lockdown? So is it possible that these bombs are going to go off maybe in the middle of lunch or while people are at work, and they're going to kill a lot of conservative voting employees while leaving the liberal voting people who are still on lockdown to, vote in the coming election? Uh, a very, yeah, very deadly form of gerrymandering, if you will. So that is just it. That is my little warning. And again, I'm sure everyone out there is going to think that I'm ridiculous, but I'm going to say it anyway because maybe it'll get into the hands of people who have something to do with preventing it. So, all right, my name is Evan Benton. This is Dogg from Air. Tell your friends.